I want to offer you a few balancing and stretching exercises which I include in my routine, but are a little different from the circular self-massage. One of them is simply lifting on the balls of your feet. So it's working the feet and it is working the balance mechanism. So you can start by just lifting up a little bit and feeling as your feet are stretched and ready enough. And when you can reach the point where you stand on the ball of your feet and then release down. Don't drop down, but release down so that you're actually working the muscles as you work down. And then I like to repeat this. I repeat it about 20 times. So it's a balance, it offers balance, it offers strengthening of the feet and ankles, improves the balance mechanism. And of course, relaxed breath and extended, elongated spine. And then the next one that I usually do, and we'll take that in a moment because we're going to move to a kitchen, so we'll skip that and move on to another balance one. You may want a chair nearby. I usually do this at the kitchen sink, so if I need balancing, I can touch it. And it is simply this. It is a leg lift, a heel lift, working the knee and heel, and it also increases and extends balance, lifting, and I like to repeat that about 20 times. And then the other leg, just repeating. And focus on a point in front of you which improves the balance. The more intensely you focus, the more you can maintain your balance. And the breath relaxed. And then some side stretches, leg stretches, and instead of straight out, diagonally stretching out. And I just repeat these about 10 times each side. Stretching, stretching, stretching. And then marching in place, and sometimes this is good to do in front of a mirror so you can really see. The marching in place, the goal here is to exercise the hip, so you raise it like this, and then you raise the other one. But to keep the body as, the spine as elongated and straight as possible as you do this. So I like to repeat that 20 times each side. So it's just moving in place like this, because you are working the balance as well as working the hips and the spine. And then another good way of exercising balance, if you have one of these, you can get one of these rather inexpensively. They're sometimes called stability discs or balance discs or balance boards. There are various names for them. You start this. This is not the one I usually use, so I'm a little unfamiliar with it. So the one I use, I stand on the step in the middle. This step in here. And so now, once you're on it, once you find your balance, you may need a chair to help you with that. As you move around, every time you're moving your body or shifting your weight, you are working that balance mechanism. It is working the various parts of the body that will keep you upright and in balance. So this is a kind of a neat thing to do with music. Also, it's one of the things, as I said, with mentioning Dr. James Levine and his work, that he stresses introducing movement into the various activities of our day. You can have something like this near your desk and periodically get up and just move around a little bit. Another thing that is important for me is I just kind of added this activity recently in my life. I had the disc for a long time but never used it. And I'm doing it now, and instead of adding an additional thing on, I incorporate it. So I happen to use it when I'm flossing and brushing my teeth in the morning and evening. It's an easy activity to add in. And now, before we do the stretching at the kitchen sink, just a little stretch movement that gives a very good full body stretch that I find is good for me in my hips and my hamstrings. You just hands up against the wall and put your left foot up near the wall and then straight stretch out the right leg. And instead of it being directly in line, my physical therapist suggested that have it slightly to the left of the line. And breathing and relaxing, and I like to hold in this position for about a minute or so. Breathing and releasing, full stretch through the hamstrings, through the back, through the spinal column. And then reversing to the other side. And if your body is not up for that much of a stretch, then just do it in small increments. Squat first, work your way down like this, and put the leg out a little further, and then squat a little bit further. You're working the foot as well, the muscles in the feet as well. And then work your way out a little bit further. And you can keep extending in small steps the stretch, the flexibility, the range of motion. Let me have my foot over a little bit off the center line. And then eventually you may be able to release into the full stretch. Straight leg, straight back, relaxed breath, breathing and releasing. And one last good balance exercise is taking the stairs. Stairs are a wonderful movement activity. Avoid elevators whenever you can. Take stairs. And they can be a good balance exercise if we don't just lean on the railing for support and push ourselves up, but gradually work your way, straight body, so you're lifting each step, you lift the spinal column erectly. You lift the whole weight of your body. That's a lot of weightlifting. Lifting from one step to the other. If at first you need to balance with your hand on the railing, fine, but eventually just maybe ride your hand above the railing and eventually reach the point where you can climb the stairs little by little, in balance, and increase the number of stairs you can take per day. Never go beyond what your breath tells you is appropriate. If you start breathing heavily, you're going too far too fast. Move back off a little bit. Stay within the capacity of your breath. This was a powerful lesson I learned when I was still running. I'd go out for a run and I'd feel all excited and really push myself. And after 5-10 minutes, I was exhausted. And I finally realized that what I need to do is start slowly and always listen to my breath. Never go beyond in exertion what my breath can comfortably move at. And then what I found was, almost magically, my breath would deepen, expand, and I could get running full force. Another exercise that I like to do very early in my morning routine is this kind of a stretch squat, which was something I was given as part of my therapy after hip replacement, but it feels so good for my body that I've just continued using it. And it's good at a sink because that's about the right height for support. So basically what it amounts to is standing with the legs apart, about hip width apart, at a distance that is comfortable, and just start by doing a squat, just easing into a squatting position. And then with the hands, fingertips to support you, squat and stretch the lower back out. Stretch and squat. I need my feet a little further away. Stretch and squat. And then what I like to introduce is a kind of a flowing movement where I really stretch my spine and my upper body, my shoulders, my arms, and then roll upward. And then stretch down and roll upward. It really releases the kinks in the body and the upper torso. And I like to repeat that about 20 times. It's really a good warmer upper in the morning. And so that completes our exercises for balancing and stretching.